Good day, everyone. My name is Vince Joseph Alfred C. Mobe. I am here to tackle about the questions and topics that was given to us by our professor, Mr. Giovanni Utuan, for our subject GE3. First, discuss the powers of an international organization. We must first know what is an international organization is. It refers to international intergovernmental organizations or groups that are primarily made up of member states. There are three powers that an international organizations can exercise. First, the power of classifications. It is the ability to classify objects, invent, and shift their very definition and identity. Second, the power to fix meanings. States, organizations, and individuals views international organizations as legitimate sources of information. As such, the meaning they create have effects on various policies. Third, the power to diffuse norms. International organizations exercises a third type of power by spreading and enforcing global values and norms. They have the power to decide whether a thing or an action can be acceptable to the society. Second, discuss and differentiate comprehensively the organs of the United Nations. United Nations was created after World War II. The United Nations is an international intergovernmental organization tasked with maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations, achieving international cooperation, and being a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. There are 5 organs of United Nations. First, the General Assembly. It is the main deliberative organ of the United Nations, comprised of all members of states. It makes decisions on international peace and security, admitting new member states, and the UN budget are decided by a 2/3 majority. Second, the Security Council. The Security Council has a primary responsibility under the UN Charter to maintain international peace and security. They have determined threats to peace or acts of aggressions and resolve it through peaceful or forceful means. Third, the Economic and Social Council. It is the UN's principal body for coordinating policy review, policy dialogue, and recommendations on social and environmental issues, as well as implementations of internationally agreed development goals. Fourth, the International Court of Justice. It is the UN's main judicial organ. It is tasked to settle legal disputes only between nations and not between individuals. In accordance with the international law, legal disputes are submitted to it by states and to give advisory opinions referred to it by authorized United Nations organs and specialized agencies. Fifth, the Secretariat. It is made up of tens of thousands of international staff members working at United Nations headquarters. They are responsible for servicing the other organs of the United Nations and administering the programs and policies laid down by them. The Secretariat is headed by the Secretary General, who is appointed by the General Assembly. For lesson number 5, discuss and differentiate comprehensively state regionalism and non-state regionalism. State regionalism is an international organization in the region whose members are represented by states, while the non-state regionalism is an international organization in the regions whose members are common people or philanthropists and not directly connected to the states. There are several reasons of the formation of regional groups in state regionalism. First, for military defense. For example, for this was the establishment of National Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO is an international intergovernmental military alliance between 30 North American and European countries. The organization implements the North Atlantic Treaty that was signed on April 4, 1949. It provides defense for external threats for members of this organization. Second, to pool resources. The number one example for this is the establishment of OPEC, or the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. OPEC is a group consisting of 14 different world major oil exporting nations. It was founded in 1960 to coordinate the petroleum policies of its members and to provide member states with technical and economic aid. Third, to protect independence. Countries from regional blocs to protect their independence from the pressures of superpower politics. An example for this is the establishment of NAM, the Non-Aligned Movement. In the year of 1955, there was a conference at Bandung that is in Indonesia, and 29 Afro countries assembled and the birth of NAM was started. Fourth, due to economic crisis. Economic crisis compels countries to come together. As an example for this is the establishment of the ASEAN. As fourth, due to economic crisis. Economic crisis compels countries to come together. As an example for this is the establishment of the ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. ASEAN was established on August 8, 1967 in Bangkok by the 5 original member countries, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. And that's all for the lesson number 5.